Hello and welcome to the first episode of Game Marmalade for 2017. I'm Peter, I'm hosting this week. With me I've got...
Ibrahim.
Panda.
Henry.
Cool. So, hope you all had a good Christmas period. And...
No.
Yes.
Yes.
The band.
Ibs didn't reply.
Yeah, that was alright.
Okay, let's just talk about video games. That'll be easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
This social thing is difficult.
Yeah. Earlier in January, Nintendo properly revealed quite a lot more information about the Switch. So there was a long Nintendo Direct about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they announced what the launch titles are going to be for the Switch. That has come out over the last few weeks because different companies have said, "Oh, we're also making this title for it." But the launch titles now have been confirmed to be 1-2 Switch, which is one of the videos, was shown in one of the videos, which is like a mini game collection they normally do. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, Just Dance 2017, Human Resource Machine, which is the game made by the same people as...
Programming one, right?
Yeah, it's the programming one. It's made by the same people who did Little Inferno, and Little Inferno is also coming out on Switch. Breath of the Wild, obviously, the Zelda one. Skylanders, Imaginators, Super Bomberman R, which is a remake of the Super NES one, and World of Goo. And shortly after that, they're bringing out ARMS, which is another game they showed off with it, which is like a boxing game where you use the controllers to punch and box and stuff like that. Mario Kart Deluxe, which is Mario Kart 8 with all the DLC. They've added a proper battle mode to it, but there are no new tracks for it other than the DLC ones. And also Snipper Clips, which is a really strange sounding game, but it looks really cool.
Everyone has said that is really good.
Yeah.
So.
Basically, you play as... It's a two-player game where you each different shapes, your little shaped characters, and you rotate your body around, and when you overlap with the other person, you can press a button and it cuts a section off them, and you've basically got to shape each other into different shapes to do certain puzzles. So there'll be things like a thing that's firing balls constantly, so you make it so one person's head is like a ramp, so the balls hit that and then bounce off and go into like a net or something.
It's a really hard game to describe.
Yeah. Looks cool from the videos though. Yeah. There's also they showed off Super Mario Odyssey as well. Have you guys seen any of the videos from it?
I've seen a little bit.
Yeah.
Explain to me.
It's pretty strange. Well, it's closer to like Mario 64 and stuff, in that you're going to different worlds. But they opened with a shot showing Mario with like actual humans.
He's in like a city that looks like New York. Is this the one that's called New Donk City?
Yeah,
it's the best name of a city.
It's called New Donk City, yes. And all of the people look like normally proportioned human beings. It's really weird. And
it's
Mario
like
does
him going into different universe things. That are all, so each world he goes into is a different style.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the Sonic 2006 game, but the people in that look like the Sonic 2006 game, which is famous for being just abysmal. But Super Mario Odyssey looks really good. Cool. Any of the games that I mentioned interest anyone? I thought it was kind of strange a lot of them are ones that are already out, like on different things.
Yeah, a lot of them sound like re-release, or as you say, things which are already out. That's a bit.
I think it's cost is going to be one of the interesting things, because something like 1-2 Switch is just I really wish it's one of these games that I don't get why they haven't bundled it with it, because the entire point of it is not like this is a game you're going to be playing forever. This is a game to show off the features of the console.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I thought that the initial price point for the Switch was a little bit too high, but I thought it would have been really good if they had kept at that price point but included 1-2 Switch. But they included like Wii Sports with a rewrite, and loads of people.
And Nintendo Land was a lot of people got.
One, I got it with it. Yeah, it would have just been really nice to have that. I mean, they'll probably release bundles. I imagine stores will do them with a reduced cost, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried because games like that I would pick up for under £20, but they're probably going to charge at least £40.
Oh, they've announced for them. No, not £40. They're £50. Switch games are going to be £50. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
And isn't Zelda £60?
Zelda is £60 as well. Yeah.
It's the
Breath of the Wild.
Oh man,
it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I think because of the release titles they've announced, I'm definitely thinking I'm probably going to wait till the end of the year if I'm going to get one, just because there will be more games out, and games like Breath of the Wild, there's a tiny chance it could go down in price.
I think I'll still buy it. I'm quite keen to give it a go because I want to try it. I like them doing different hardware stuff. But what I really want is lots of like smaller games to get put on this, like indie developers to release games on this, because it seems like a really nice console for playing that kind of stuff on.
Yeah.
But,
sorry, how much is the Switch itself?
$300?
It's £300.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We're not in a great position, to be honest, with our economy, because other countries are getting it quite a bit cheaper. So,
Yeah, so that is a factor.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, how much is like a PS4 right now? They're like,
you can get them for about £300.
Yeah. I mean,
part of that is to do with the fact that they're releasing the PS4K or whatever it's called, like soon-ish. So there's price drops coming in. So
didn't they release PS4 Pro, or did that not already come out?
I don't think
that did.
I think it's already come out.
Yeah, I think PS4 Pro came out, and the Xbox One is coming out soon.
Yeah, they've already released Xbox
Is it still
Slim,
called
but
Scorpio?
Yeah, they haven't changed the name of it yet.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think it's always been a difficult. Well, I don't know. Like the first Wii did so well because it was marketed as family, and it was like cheap. It was cheaper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very cheap.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And they're sort of getting into the difficult thing. They're trying new hardware things, and that's great. I think it's something which I'd like a lot of games companies to do. You know, new stuff can go so well that it might as well be tried. But if they're like competing in price with these more powerful,
but for
consoles,
a first release, it's cheap for a console.
Oh,
like, compared to other
that's
things
true.
coming out, the first price point, it's a very cheap price point compared to that, and it's going to be cheaper than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio whenever that comes out.
It's more actually. What more concerns me is the game pricing.
Yeah, the game pricing worries me a bit.
Yeah, when with like PS4 and games and like that being like, if I see a PS4 game or whatever and it's like, or like PS3 and I see £40, I'm like, I'll just wait.
Yeah, I think £40 is my absolute upper limit I'll ever pay for a game. I'm not paying any more than that.
50 is
but
insane.
Maybe 60 is ridiculous. I would not pay it.
Maybe we're just getting old though, because I remember back in the day when games were like 20 quid and I saw them starting going up to 30 and I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. and then it got to 40 and I was like, never.
Worst thing is though, Breath of the Wild is $60 in the US.
What? Isn't that like? That is a lot cheaper.
No, it's because our economy has tanked, but we haven't got any more money. Is the problem.
One other thing that kind of worried me a little bit about the Switch is they also in the video. I wasn't in the video. Shortly after the video, they detailed how their online service is going to work, which concerns me. Basically, it's no longer a free service because on 3DS and Wii U it's been free. It will cost you for the first year or so. It's free. As in for 2017, it's going to be free, and then towards the end of the year they'll start charging for it. All of the things you'd expect to be part of the game, like you're paying for, like a party system, so like joining up with your friends and everything, and also voice chat, will be handled via a smartphone app you'll have to download.
Yeah.
None of it is on the console. It's all handled on your phone, and it's required to play any game online. But one of the bonuses they've said for it is. You know how PlayStation Plus offers you a free game every month? They're offering a similar thing where you'll get a virtual console game, specifically NES or Super NES, so not even the more expensive ones. But unlike the PS Plus one, as soon as that month is over, that game disappears and you can't play it again.
You have
to pay for it.
to keep
it's like you have access to it for a month. That's it.
They give you access for that month and then they get rid of it. Whereas, everyone else doing that's
it's
monthly
really frustrating because, I'm totally okay with Nintendo swapping over to a paid online service because of how much good it did for Sony's system. And it would be great if Nintendo did that, but everything they describe about it just keeps going Nintendo doesn't know how to do online systems. Maybe it'll develop and get better because they'll be getting funding from it.
Yeah.
But I'm just things like. Using it on your phone, voice chat on your phone, it's just I'm already on the console. Why do They're it makes it so much easier.
They did give a reason for it.
It doesn't make sense,
The reason they said they wanted it they have it on mobile phones is to mean that people don't have to use bulky gaming headsets to talk to their friends. But you have the option of wearing. What if you want to wear a bulky gaming headset? What if you like to? You can't. And then on a console, you wear a headset, or you can just wear headphones.
But
and
you
it works.
still, it doesn't make sense to me because you could do the voice chat on your phone without it being part of the Nintendo service anyway.
Yes.
So why have they abstracted it to your phone? When you could be doing it.
Especially when services like Discord and TeamSpeak are sort of becoming mainstream enough that even people who aren't massively hardcore gamers and stuff are willing to use these services for things. But it just seems weird.
Also,
It's really good.
I don't understand why they only have the game like available for a single month.
Yeah,
Like other
that's-
services,
yeah.
people generally keep their like subscription up because over time you'll get like a nice collection of games and you'll enjoy some of them.
Yeah.
But like at any one moment with Nintendo, it's very unlikely that you'll specifically want to play that game. So like I imagine what most people would do will literally just pay when they're like playing, and other than that, just not pay at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it doesn't have any kind of reduction on it, it'd be like, people just look at it and go, oh, this month I can only get, like, Donkey Kong Jr., the Super NES game no one wants. I guess there's no point getting it online this month, so...
So wait, I'm just so wait. Is it just an online service like PlayStation Plus where you get extra?
No,
stuff
no,
for paying?
it's...
So is it like Xbox Live where you have to pay to
Yeah,
get
it's
online?
like Xbox
Yeah.
Live.
Right, okay, they're dead to me.
Yeah. Also, and I was like, oh, but it's fine, because they do kind of offer things like Xbox Live don't, like the Miiverse, like, because you can post images and stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not in it anymore. They're getting
Really?
they're getting rid of Miiverse. There's no Street Pass because this is a portable system. They're not doing Street Pass, which is the thing that made the 3DS originally quite big.
What?
And there's no Miiverse either.
The Miiverse was. I mean, I didn't spend that much time on it, but like,
It's a
was
cool
fun
idea.
Thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was. I'm lost for words.
I wonder if they'll require like membership or on the subscription to like play Pokemon online, because that'd just be awful. Like
I don't know. That's the thing, because they're making a third Pokemon, because there's Sun and Moon, and it's rumored to be the third game in that series. So Stars.
yeah.
But yeah, if that's online only, that'd be interesting.
Is the whole online service so for games backwards also going to that system then?
What do you mean by games?
Oh
So,
no!
like
It's just
3DS
on the
and-
Switch.
No, it's
No,
It's
no,
only on
no.
the Switch. Okay.
Yeah. The 3DS, I don't think actually is physically capable of imposing that kind of limitation on it. Considering at this point, like, the hardware is so broken open that people can hack their 3DSs, log onto the store, and trick the store into believing that you own every game on it and just download it, and they
Okay.
don't have any kind of checks on
I
that.
see.
So, and it's not that difficult for people to
Right.
do. So, yeah, they're losing a lot of money on that.
I mean, if I'm like, well, I've always been superbly against subscription of any kind. The only one I've like considered getting is PlayStation Plus because that sounds amazing, but that's because it's optional.
Yeah.
Like forced subscription is even worse in my books, and that is the reason why I'll never sign on for Xbox, because I thought Xbox Live was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So on PlayStation 4, you can play most games online still without.
You can play
paying.
all games online.
All
PlayStation
games.
Plus just allows you to get
Okay.
extra
I
games.
thought they
and
just
stuff.
swapped it over.
No, I think they changed it.
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty sure they swapped it.
on like the PS3, you could play online, and PlayStation Plus had extra stuff. But on the PS4, like
They
I know
changed
for
that as well.
for like Bloodborne at least,
I think it's your only
to do
option
only
now.
only like online stuff you need PlayStation Plus.
They're
I
all
think-
dead to me.
I think I would
I'm quitting gaming.
No, computer. PC Master
I think
Race.
I'd be perfectly fine with a subscription thing like that if it was bundled with the sort of PlayStation Plus thing, where it was like, you play you have to have our subscription to play online, but look, we're giving you all this free stuff as well, so it is kind of like a bundle
Yeah.
together. It's like, if the Switch was doing it correctly, like, it gave you access to these games and new games, like maybe it was like, oh, we've got all these Wii games that you could get access to, we'll give you a new Wii game each month. That'd be fine, because they're relatively new games. And
Also, like the PlayStation Plus, I think I might not be right on this, but I think it's about 40 quid for a year. But like I know that my brother-in-law bought like NBA 2K16 for like 60 quid. And then like 2 months later, my brother got it free with PlayStation Plus. And I'm just like laughing about that.
yeah,
I think, yeah.
even if it was like a yearly thing.
The issue I have, right, is that if you buy a game, part of that game that you have paid for is the online.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay something else to somebody else for something you've already paid for
I
to
completely
play
agree,
part of that content.
but it's just that is what console gaming or online console gaming is now. So
Yeah,
it's,
in which case I
yeah.
don't blame Nintendo at all. In fact, I think it's the best move to make, because if the other two big guys have done it,
Yeah.
you might as well do it yourself, because then,
Yeah.
like,
just
like
they're doing it so badly though.
they just need to do it well. I love you, Nintendo, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
frustrating. Like, I'm really excited for this console, genuinely, because I like them trying new stuff with it. But there's just lots of points where you keep being like, oh, that's interesting. How will that? It doesn't work. They've just not described it. Okay.
Okay, moving on from the Switch. The Overwatch Lunar New Year events started recently, so they added a Capture the Flag mode and a load of new skins for that. Have any of you guys played any of the Capture the Flag mode yet?
I have not played it. I've
I haven't
seen
played
some
Overwatch.
of it.
Okay, I played a little bit of it.
So do you want to explain the specific rules? What happens when you're holding the flag is what I'm most interested in.
When you're holding the flag, everything is the same.
You can still shoot and everything.
You can still shoot and everything. Like, there's a video where they talk about the reason why Capture the Flag isn't a mode in the main game usually, just because it's so difficult to balance. They had things where it was like, oh, we originally had it so Tracer couldn't use her ability, like movement abilities were it, but it was like, this is really boring. Like, you're basically no longer playing Overwatch.
Well, I'd say, like, people like Tracer, D.Va, and Genji picking up the flag, and if you have Lucio with speed boost on your team, like, they're away, they're gone. Like.
But the thing is, I don't think that hasn't actually been that much of an issue in the games that I've played. It's more the fact you play it on a map that already exists. It's one of the
it feels like a mode that needs a dedicated map.
Yes, exactly. There's whole bits of the map you just never go into, and like just don't get. Yeah, and it's okay. It just feels kind of loose. Like the one I've played it, because it's first to 3, but there's also a timer, and if you have more points than the other person at the end of that timer, then you'll win.
Right.
So what's happened in one of the games I played, at the very beginning of it, a soldier ran in and got the flag, and the other team got 1 point on R1. And then literally just the rest of the team camped on their flag, and they had like a tour gun set up and like a bastion, and just entirely defended it and dedicated everything to defending it. And it's right outside their spawn. Like, you can see the entrance to the spawn from the flag.
That's a problem.
Because
I was going to say, that's a legitimate strategy. That works in other games, but there are ways around it. But if they're respawning way faster than you are, then...
You can be a Widowmaker, stand inside your spawn room and snipe at the flag and guard the flag
That's
from
terrible.
it. Yeah. It's a fun little game mode, though. Like, I can see why it's not in the main one, and it's not going to be a permanent fixture to it. But
does it have, like, class limitations?
Yes, it's called class.
Okay.
It's basically like you're playing quick play.
I'm just surprised they didn't make, like, a quick map for that if they made one for the 3v3 mode and stuff. But...
Yeah.
Wait, when you... So a couple of things you probably don't know, but when you die, what happens to... You might not know, what happens to the flag?
The flag drops on the ground, and then the other team has to stand on their own flag for a certain amount of time, and then it teleports back to the base.
Right, but any enemy player can run over it and instantly pick it back up.
Yes.
And so what happens when D.Va has the flag and she comes out of mech?
I think she drops the flag, so she has to,
I'm just saying, can you imagine
Lots
those
of
limits with, like,
interactions.
6 divas? Like, one diva goes down, one flies, 5 takes it, everybody else defends.
No one really, in the games that I played of it, not many people have been playing D.Va anymore, because there's mentions of her being nerfed. It's the kind of thing where, like,
scared.
People don't want to play a character that's been nerfed and really want to play a character that's been buffed, even if the buff or the nerf isn't that big. So, like, the few times I played Quick Play recently, it's just, like, it went from there being a D.Va in every game, essentially, to no one really plays D.Va. D.Va's pretty much always picked. But that might just be because the patch only happened a couple of days ago. So, yeah. Some of the skins look quite good. One of the things that happened with it was... May's skin is a bit buggy.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. Basically, there was some kind of, like, glitch with the model where the top half of her body is now slimmer than how it would be when she's wearing, like, the thick coat. Right. Because she's not wearing a thick coat anymore. But then the bottom half of her body is still as if she was wearing a coat.
Like, juts out at 90 degrees.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
So her butt has, like, essentially a flat shelf with, like, a 90-degree angle on it. It looks so weird. But they've announced that they know that it's in there. So
no, they know it's in there. They planned that.
Working as intended. Oh shit! Was that the Dark Souls thing? Yeah. I don't know why my mind went there. Yeah. Well, that's as good a segue as any. There was a video for the next Dark Souls 3 DLC, The Ringed City.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. What does that actually... I watched the video, but I had no context for anything. Is it, like, any kind of lore reason for stuff?
Don't really know yet. Like, we'll find out once the game, like, once the DLC drops. But it'll be the last, like, chapter in Dark Souls. Because that DLC is, like, the end of them working on, like, the Dark Souls name at all.
Okay, yeah. Because they've said that they'll let some other team work on it if they have a good idea for it at some later point, but it's them done with it completely.
Yeah,
the original developers.
And that wasn't even, like, a proper announcement or anything like that. That was just him, like, mentioning it in an interview when directly asked.
So the first DLC was pretty good, right?
I enjoyed it.
I was going to say
mixed opinions online.
Oh really? I think I'd only heard mostly good stuff, but I was just going to say they've done quite well with Dark Souls 3 if this one turns out to be good then, because
I think they've always been on top of their DLC. Like the DLC they've always done quite well with their DLC. Or certainly Dark Souls 1 DLC.
Dark Souls 1 was really good. Both were so good.
Yeah, fantastic.
I've not played the Dark Souls 2 DLC.
It's still it's definitely the scenery is extremely nice. I mean, it's difficult to judge considering my disdain for Dark Souls 2, but I think it is better probably than the. But either way, really good. So exciting, considering they're always good with their DLCs, and it's the last thing they're releasing. Hopefully they'll be good with it.
Yeah,
Panda, have you played Dark Souls 3 then yet, or are you waiting
I have,
still?
yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just curious because I know how much you really enjoyed the other one.
Played
So
the DLC.
okay, yeah.
I will say one thing about the first Dark Souls 3 DLC, and that's probably like the first time I've actually enjoyed like the aesthetics of a snow level in like any
really?
game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because I watched you play the snow level thing for Dark Souls 2.
I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward
it's
to
not.
that.
There's multiple snow bits, but there's one you may have specifically seen. It's
Okay.
called Horse
Horse
F Canyon.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it is the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever played
Yeah.
in gaming. Oh, please.
God. Okay, moving on. A Japanese studio, film studio, recently announced that they're going to be making a film based on the mobile game. It's called Nico Atsume. If you've heard of it before, like there's probably like you've probably seen screenshots on Facebook or something like that. It's basically just a mobile game where you collect little cats. So you'll put down toys and things, and then it's a collectible.
Nico.
Yeah, it's like a collectible game, but for cats. And the film for it, I'll read you the short synopsis they gave for it, where the film centres around a writer with writer's block who moves to the country and develops an obsession with attracting cats to his garden. This is the entire plot of the film.
I'm actually really happy. That sounds really interesting for what they've done.
I mean, I think films are getting to, like, people are starting to realise that weird-ass films can be really good.
Yeah.
Like, the Lego Batman film looks really good.
can't wait
actually.
for that.
There's terrible ones as well. Like they made
Well,
an emoticon movie, but they've actually
okay.
put in effort with this.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
come up with a storyline.
That'd be good.
I know Brandon Sanderson has written like a couple of books based on the Infinity Blade mobile game, and those were really good.
I've heard that like that game is actually pretty good because it's like they've made 3 of them. I think the
Mhm.
Infinity Blade. They're iPad games.
Anything there's been 3 of must be good.
Well, no, as in they sold really, really well, and the developers got the money for it. So
Yeah, it's just like an on-rails combat game where you swipe to do attacks and stuff like that.
yeah. Okay. Also today, so news hot off the press. Square Enix announced they're going to be working on an Avengers game. It's going to be developed by Crystal Dynamics. It was announced just this morning. And the only thing, it was a short trailer which showed lots of broken weapons of people from the Avengers. So there's like Mjolnir and like Iron Man's armor and stuff like that. And someone doing a voiceover about the fact that a lot of the heroes are gone. And the title that they use for it, and the hashtag for it, is called Reassemble.
Right.
So that might be quite interesting. It's made by the same people who did the recent like Lara Croft games. 'Cause it's Crystal Dynamics, but Crystal Dynamics made the original Lara Croft games. So I think it's a different developer using that name.
Okay.
Yeah, the same way like Atari's not really
I
still
forgot
Atari.
they had Tomb Raider basically, so,
Yeah.
but that made me quite happy because I mean immediately I think most people thought it's like Final Fantasy when you think of Square Enix,
Yeah.
and then I was like I'm not really sure I'd want to play that, but if they make a good game on that.
Yeah, so if it's like an action type game for it, that'd be quite interesting. I'm wondering if it's like implying that the heroes are all dead. I wonder who you'd be playing as.
I hope they're dead. They don't die enough.
All the B-list heroes, please.
That would actually
That'd be hilarious. Like, all the guys who aren't that, but no, but they.
I
won't
want
do
a
that.
Howard the Duck video game.
Well, isn't there a duck video game that everyone loves, like an really old school duck video game?
Isn't that?
Oh, DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Yeah,
That's what I was
DuckTales,
thinking
yeah.
of.
Scrooge
Yeah.
McDuck.
Well, that's mainly just because of the Disney TV show.
Yeah.
That had a really good theme tune for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That DuckTales video game is also really famous for having like a really overdeveloped like score for it. Like all of the music in it is ridiculous. Because like obviously on the NES it was like crappy bleeping noises. But then this one they developed some ridiculously over the top score for that, like every single level and every screen. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay then. That's all I've got in terms of news for this week. I thought, seeing as it's been a while since we've actually done a session, should we talk about games we've been playing over Christmas, games we've been playing recently? So, do you want to start, Ibs?
I have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think today I spent an hour on like a single enemy because I don't think I was meant to fight him, and in that hour I did 20% of his health, and I was like,
This is the second time I've heard a story like this from you, where you're like, I found an enemy I'm not meant to fight, but I fought him anyway.
That's
You're supposed
exactly
to-
what I keep doing as well. Though, so.
You should be stopping and being like, what am I doing with my life?
like you get something really good if you kill him. But, like my character's like level like 30 or something, and he was level 99. And like when like your most powerful hit is capped at 9,999 damage, but he has 5 million health. But beyond me like taking that kind of detour, I've really been enjoying the game so far. Like the combat feels really like dynamic and fun, and I like the characters, which is good.
From what I've seen of the combat, it looks a lot like the combat that was in the Xenoblade games, but a lot more like hack and slashy, which really that's what Xenoblade kind of needed, a bit more freeform to it. But it looks really good.
Way more freeform than Xenoblade, and you can just it's just because it's all kind of in the overworld, whereas like you're kind of restricted in Xenoblade, if I remember.
I mean, it's really nice because there's just like it really feels like they're a team of people, and I haven't even watched the anime or the film, which should apparently give you loads of background on who they all are. You immediately feel like they're connected, and in battle they like come in and do like combined strikes with you at times and things like that.
Like they feel like people and they feel like friends.
I think
we've got a door.
Cool.
I can't remember what I was going to say. So I was going to.
So they feel like friends is where we were. And I think I disagree so much. I mean, like one of the things I really like about it is that like a lot of the gameplay is like that typical. Like I've been doing a lot of all the side stuff essentially. So I'm crawling through the game. I'm like the main mission I am currently on is like for level 10 and I'm 25.
Oh. I was going to say, does it like scale at all at the main stuff, or does it feel like it's built to allow you to do that?
It does still scale because, or at least like the combat's a bit weird because sometimes the enemies just suddenly deal really high damage. But yeah, in any case, the game is so good because a lot of the stuff I've been doing is just the sort of side stuff where it's like go here, kill this monster, come back and stuff. But because there's so much like stuff that happens on the way, like people talk about things, or like people pop up and say stuff, or like, and it's just really in general like relaxing and enjoyable to do the boring stuff.
Yeah,
like,
the world feels real, and it's really easy just to get distracted doing stuff.
And it's nice to drive the car. Well, even though like the driving of the car, in fact, the car can't go off the road. Until like later when you.
And it automatically follows the road as well.
You can control it, but you can also like get one of the other characters to drive it for you. And a lot of the time, I just like do that and just sit back and just watch. It's just a relaxing game.
I have
it's
heard
nice and chill.
Recently, one of the more recent updates to the game is they added some more roads to areas just to allow people to do more driving across some of the areas that are harder to get to, which is quite a cool idea actually. If people are like traveling everywhere by car and enjoying it.
Yeah, but like as soon as there is no more roads, you just call your chocobos and just ride them around.
And I mean, the other thing I did was that the first thing I did was there's a tree of thing. So you get ascension points to add experience points. Experience points level you up. Ascension points like give you perks essentially. And there's a tree of perks which give you more AP for doing things. So the first thing I did was completely max out that tree, and now I get like AP for driving, riding chocobos, catching fish, taking pictures. And it's everywhere.
Like I initially tried to start off by like just doing every quest that I could see, but then I kind of got bored of doing that, so I literally kind of just. Instead of trying to seek out quests, just do the ones I just come across, and kind of just do it as if I was just travelling along the land and doing stuff, as opposed to trying to do everything.
You should not play Dragon Age Inquisition if you have that attitude.
Panda,
because it will kill you.
What usually happens in those sorts of games is I do that up to a certain point and go just burn out on side quests and just do the main storyline.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. That's also why when I played Inquisition as well, like the beginning of the game is awful because it's just lots and lots of those quests, and it's not obvious that the game is more than those side quests. So if you play with that kind of mindset, it ruins it.
Like the sticky on the Reddit is like, for the love of God, leave the first area.
But more importantly, what's the best selfie you've got in the game then?
Do you mean selfie or photo?
Oh, I guess you could do both. I know that you take selfies at some points, but mostly it's photos.
So wait, so can you take like selfies with bosses and stuff like that? Then?
Well, it's not you.
Okay.
There's one of the characters. One of his abilities is like take a photo in the middle of battle. And also, you have like a bar that fills up that you can use on people's special abilities and stuff, and you can use it for taking photos instead of fighting.
I've got quite a few photos that I absolutely adore. I can't really explain them.
Yeah,
it's fine. People put them up on the screen now.
Why would you do this to me?
I think another one of that's just one of the things that makes it feel more real and like gives it just another aspect of not having to take it so seriously and like take your time and do things, because like. The guy who takes pictures, Prompto, there's been so many points where I've just been driving around, he's going, oh, I like the look of that, can we take a picture of that? And you like stop by the road and go off, and then he
cool.
he's like sets up a camera and
And you're
takes
like,
a
oh,
picture
that's
of
so
all four
cool
of
in
you.
real life. In real life, you'd just be like, no, we're driving. What are you doing?
I was gonna say, like in basically any other video game, it would be like you'd be driving along, and then there was suddenly like a thing would pop up on the map or something saying like, "Go here for a photo." Yeah.
No, yeah, he like asks you, is it okay if you stop? And
Yeah.
then if you say yes, then if you're like the other person's driving, they'll just do a U-turn and then drive to the spot.
If you're driving, can you say yes and then just keep driving?
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I've tried that.
Don't want to hurt his feelings.
You definitely can do it like when sometimes they go, we should stop for petrol, or we should stop and stay for night because at night more powerful enemies come out. And you can just go yes, and then straight past, and they're like,
Also, there have been like a few real moments with the characters where they like kind of just talk to you about like their like insecurities or their feelings and stuff like that.
And it's surprising. It just like this is the thing. It's really quite organic because it's sort of like when you set up camp for the night, they'll like pop over and like be like, oh, blah 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 and stuff like this. And one of them was you wake up in the morning and like the big hench guy's like, you don't do enough exercise, let's go for a morning jog, and you just like race him down the beach, and it's just so weird, but it's like amazing.
That is really cool. It's probably like the first Final Fantasy I've actually wanted to play. From what people have been saying.
Yeah, from what I've heard of it, it makes me kind of want to have more games try and go for that kind of feel, where it's like less video gamey.
Yeah.
Like there are very clear things that have been set in stone that are like a video game, and this game seems to be like eschewing them for stuff that may not be as obvious, like having someone just say, "Oh, can we take a photo of this?" and have characters talk to you about that kind of stuff. But
it's like kind of like I almost feel like they've almost done what BioWare games a lot of the time do, but better. Where like part of the things I really liked about the original Dragon Age and stuff was just going to locations and having people in your party talk about stuff. Like I really loved that. It's some of my favourite dialogue in all of the games. But like it sounds like they've done this, but way more natural.
And it integrated it into the actual gameplay side of it. Whereas for like in BioWare, it's like, oh, they'll talk about stuff, but then go kill 5 bears for their powers.
But this is, in all the BioWare games, I found it the same thing, which is, and I love all the characters, so I always do it. But it's like after every main mission, you just go around the camp and talk specifically to every person because all of them have an opinion.
Yeah, them coming to you.
It's organic because it literally just pops up with like a speech bubble and then their name, and then they'll say something, and then you can respond to it. And it's like it's just something like in Uncharted 4, a similar thing happens where like if you're talking to people while you're driving around the map and stuff, when you get out, the character says, "Oh, wait a sec, I've just got to go check this out." And then when he comes back, he goes, "Sorry, what were you saying?" And it continues the conversation. And I just like that is like it's so small, but it's so nice because there's so many games where it's like either you hop out of the car and just that conversation stops, and then you can't hear the rest of it.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Or that you have to sit in the car and wait for them to finish the conversation before you get out.
That's exactly what I meant. Like in so many times in Dragon Age, they'd start talking, and I'd be like, "Well, I don't want to walk any further because it'll interrupt the conversation." And you just sit there and wait for it.
Weirdly, do you know what game also did that kind of thing really well? Saints Row. In Saints Row the Third, there's things where like when you be driving with people, they have conversations with you, and they do things like singing along to the radio at certain points, or like commenting as you drive past things, and it would stage conversations. So there's a bit where like you'll be driving someone to a location, and they'd be talking, and there'd be a moment of silence, and the length of that silence would be such that when you arrive at like a bridge or something, he'd comment on something on the bridge. It's really cool when they do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That and GTA actually put, like, it's not as good, I think, as the way you described it in Final Fantasy, but, like, if you interrupt the conversation accidentally, because in Saints Row and GTA you crash into stuff a lot, but they'd always have people, like, the developers seem to have started adding more stuff to make people restart conversations, where they'll be, like, say, like, oh, so anyway, or things like that, or they just start again from slightly back where they were, which is really cool. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
One of my favourite, like, small things is... because it's like not turn-based. When you like finish combat, there's no like victory screen music, like screen or anything like that. But one of the characters will just start singing the victory music.
He's really meta actually, because there's other things where he goes like, "This is actually like a real RPG."
Because there are video games in there. Well,
yeah. And they just go, "You're such a nerd." It's so weird.
And he really loves chocobos.
Yeah, he loves chocobos.
Cool. What have you been playing, Panda, then? Besides Final Fantasy.
So 2 games, I'll just go probably relatively quickly. Over Christmas I played House Ion 6,
What? Say that again?
Halcyon.
Halcyon. I thought you said House Iron.
So did I as well.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a series? Like, there's been 6 titles.
You've been made to do all the ironing in your house.
It was sort of like when it came out relatively recently, and it was really like well reviewed by many things about being like essentially similar to sort of XCOM and FTL, and it is really good. I'd really recommend playing it if you're into those sorts of games. It's just like it's like pixel art, but the pixel art is done well enough such that it looks really good.
Okay.
And it's just like a little space thing where you're like you're like the humans, and then there's a big evil alien race which is trying to exterminate you and some other people, and there's like and that.
So it's like a turn-based.
Yeah, so there's people battles and space battles.
Okay.
So you just like it's just like you upgrade. You have to like it's kind of the style of combat's kind of like is that sort of turn-based, like sort of JRPG combat where you like choose a skill and it'll fire at a certain thing and then etc. But it's pretty good. I'd recommend that. The other thing is Salt and Sanctuary.
Oh yes, 2D Dark Souls.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. So firstly, everybody who's played Dark Souls, I mean, the thing is, right? Lots of people like different things about Dark Souls, and so it depends on what you like about Dark Souls that would make this a good game or not.
In what way is it 2D Dark Souls then? Is it like just tone, or is it the fact that it's difficult, or
tone? Like. For me, I don't ever like necessarily consider Dark Souls it is difficult, but that's not what about it. It's
punishing.
Yes, well, but also like it's trying to teach you lessons and things.
Yeah,
you're meant to learn rather than just grind, and that is very similar. Like the combat is very similar. It's about essentially it's just like you choose your weapon build, and the weapon build pretty soon you can have like big heavy weapons or small fast ones, and like rolling is really important. Because you get the iframes during it, and then you like the mechanic. If you played it after playing Dark Souls, you would very much see that the mechanics are very similar. Like the stats are the same. You know, like there's like equip weight, which affects your roll speed and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So where's the sort of stuff on his sleeve then? It's not like trying to hide the fact that it's
not at all. In fact, there's throughout the game there's sanctuaries, which are just bonfires essentially. But I actually really enjoyed it.
How long is it? Would you say?
I got through it the first playthrough on sort of like I think it was 20 hours ish.
Oh wow! Okay, it's quite long.
But so a lot of that is getting lost.
Yeah.
Or like spending time like finding your so the main problem I have with it. Well, there are probably 2 problems, which is obviously. The combat suffers a tiny bit, and not even that much from being 2D. So obviously in Dark Souls 3D, you can like you roll to the side and like enemies attack. So there's 3 dimensions to deal with there.
Yeah.
Whereas when the enemies are going side to side and stuff, you have to roll through the boss.
Yeah.
A lot of the time to get behind it and stuff like that. But it is done really well, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. There's only one boss which I thought was dumb.
Yeah.
In the whole game.
Is the tactic still get in the boss's butt and stab it though?
Some of them, no way.
Yeah.
But there's and then the other thing is that because even though they did it really well for what they had, like the layout of because of course like Dark Souls it's an open world in the sense that it's all connected, and in 2D you've only got up, down, left, and right, and therefore finding the right way to go can be an absolute pain, because you can be going to the right and then you find like a locked door and you're like, oh well, I can't remember whether I have to go like back, down, back, up, down, left, down, right, and all this stuff. But yeah, it was really fun. It's definitely worth playing if you like that.
All I've seen of Salt and Sanctuary is a speedrun where he kind of just does a glitch to fly through the sky to go to a dev shop and then gets an end game weapon at the start and just killed all the bosses in like 5 hits.
That was the thing. I did actually kill the final boss in like 6 hits.
Oh,
well, it was still pretty hard, but yeah. Well, I always do that sort of build where you get the biggest weapon you can and hit the bosses.
Yeah. It takes you ages to get a hit, but when you do hit them,
so and then the final thing I've been playing, I'll talk about is Elite Dangerous.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, I've been playing it a lot recently. I bought it like a week ago and I've played an insane amount because
they just add aliens.
Yes, so this
I
is
watched a video of that and it was really cool.
I've not interacted with it yet, but so I'll go back. So people I know have been playing for 2 years. I saw it when they bought it 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." I'm thinking of getting it, and I've been thinking of getting it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And at some point, I just went, "I'm going to get it finally." So yeah, the gameplay tends isn't necessarily that varied. Like there's like
the only thing I know about it is people referring
fighting.
to it as like Space Truck Simulator.
Yes.
Is it just that? Okay.
Well, if you want money, yes.
Okay.
the fighting aspects of the game aren't as profitable as the hauling aspects of the game.
Okay.
And can be pretty grindy because if you only then again like I've been playing it, as I say, for like a week. I'm already like halfway up the chain of ships. But they're going to add more and there's more stuff. But yeah, the interesting thing they've done recently is there's all the alien stuff. Now I don't know a huge amount about it.
I've read a little bit about
Yeah.
it.
So firstly, it's a community goal, which is always interesting when you're trying to get everybody to work together towards something. So progress towards the quest is everybody's totaled up for it.
Yeah.
And the main thing I've heard about is you have to work out like coordinates of planets and stuff, and then you go to that planet, analyze weird data from alien technology, and then that will give you like a clue to another place. Unfortunately, something did bugger up a bit because they released like a trailer for it.
Yeah.
And the first puzzle was like meant to lead them to a certain place in the galaxy, and that was meant to take them some time so they could develop. I think they were trying to keep ahead. But somebody looked at the trailer for it, looked at the stars in the background, and worked out where that place was, and immediately flew there. And they were like, "Oh, well, now we've got to
Never show game people footage. Like they always do this.
But
Yeah. From what I've heard about it was the first time it was discovered. It was. They had an alien ship pull someone out of the warping,
Yes.
which hadn't been done before.
Yeah.
And then they've said that how the aliens will react in future will be entirely dependent on the result of this global quest across all people.
So there's other stuff going on like that right now because there's like 3 big factions, and there's lots of people who like work for them and stuff, and a lot of those people are trying to like make alliances and stuff right now because they're not sure about what the aliens are going to do.
So this is all like AI stuff, not AI stuff, like NPC stuff happening where it's like the story keeps progressing over time.
I don't know the exact details of it.
Okay.
All I know is that I think at some point aliens are going to be discovered when this is done or whatever. And then, because people are aware of this big ship that's been seen or some alien stuff,
I just
they're worried.
really love the way they announced it, though, as in putting it in the game so that someone gets to interact with it. Because I watched footage of someone meeting it for the first time when they get dragged out and their ship shut down, and the aliens kind of come look at you a bit or fly past you and then fly off, and you can follow them or try to. But it was just like, I love the kind of stuff like that where people add stuff to the game and maybe not tell the community what it is, and then like someone just gets to experience that for the first time and be like, "Oh my god, I have no idea what's happening right now."
I think you need to be quite careful that kind of thing. Obviously, some developers try doing that, but when you have people who data mine stuff the second any update comes out,
yeah, I mean it's up to players whether or not they want to look into that or not as well.
True.
So,
I think it's good for any community-based game. Because when like if a person goes, "Oh, I've seen this thing," and then like it spreads throughout the community, well, provided the community is tight knit enough for that to spread.
Yeah.
But it looks.
Do you know how the multiplayer in it works?
What in sense? It's just open. It's just open. So people, if you're online, I think it is instanced somewhat.
Okay, so
mainly on planets though. If you land on planets and stuff, I think it's instanced. But I'm not sure. I think in outer space you tend to...
I didn't think it was multiplayer at all.
Oh,
okay,
no,
fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Like if there are pirates everywhere.
Okay.
In fact, somebody I knew was like, "Oh, apparently they're giving out free anacondas," which is like one of the top ships in this place, and somebody else went, "No, that's a place where millions of pirates are. Like, don't go." Just like putting out the fishing line and waiting for people to buy. But yeah, the thing is that there is the ability to pull people out of jumping.
Yeah.
And so pirates just sit around. Pirates will like sit around outside big trading places and wait for like a cargo ship to come by and just like pull it out and then destroy you. Yeah.
Fair enough. Henry, what have you been playing?
I've been away in Japan, as you guys know, but
that's not a video game.
The entirety of Japan is a video game, but it means I haven't played much over the last month, and managed to narrowly avoid, as you pointed out, being in Tokyo when they did the Switch.
Yeah, you missed it by literally one day.
But before I left, I started playing Dishonored 2, which is really, really good, but I haven't had the time, like, even since getting back. I've only been back, like, less than a week, or about a week now. I haven't really had time to play that much of it, but it's really good so far. Like, I really enjoyed it. I've only done, like, the first mission or second mission. I'm playing Emily.
Okay.
I'm playing Emily, but I think I'm going to restart the game because I just don't think her powers are very interesting compared to Corvo. Corvo's ones would just seem to be better put together.
I think the problem I had was that I kept trying to play her like Corvo for most of the game. Like, his movement is very different to hers. Like, having Blink compared to the hook thing.
The hook thing just seems like a worse Blink.
Oh,
like, there's not that much different.
To make yourself move in quite fun ways, like swinging around and things like that.
I've never
really
gotten that to
enjoyable.
work. I've watched videos of people doing that, but I don't understand how it works. Basically, the only thing I've seen it do is it's a blink that you get seen as you're moving, and then occasionally it doesn't take you to where you're going. It just sort of just drops you, and like you lose all momentum and just drop.
It's quite strange.
I don't understand
It's kind of almost more like a whip than like a blink. I think it's a bit misleading because when it will show you, it looks when you do the animation for, well, like the prep animation for it, it looks very similar to the way Blink looks for Corvo, where it goes like, you're going to go here, and it doesn't mean you're going to go here, it means it's going to try and whip here, and then it will swing you based on how you're moving. Relevant to that?
Because I was trying to do the thing where, like, say I'd be underneath something and I pick a roof or something. I thought that you would whip it and then keep rising upwards, seeing as you're moving upwards. But all that happens is you get to the top of it and then she just grabs the edge, and then it's just the same as Blink but slower.
If you do it on a ledge, it'll pull you to the ledge. Like it'll come up with a special animation where it has the little arrows telling you you'll climb, which it does on Blink as well. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Like it's taken me a bit of time to get used to her abilities. Like, I realised I'd played through an entire level without, like, I'd unlocked the domino one that joins people together, and doppelganger, and I hadn't used either of them because I was literally just sneaking around and using the whip power like I was using Blink with Corvo. And then I just stopped and went like, what am I doing with this game? Like, I'm not using any of the abilities that it's given to me, so I've started using them now, and it's actually pretty fun.
Well, unlike because in the first game, because there was no way to non-lethally fight people, like if you had the sword, if you get into a sword fight, then they have to die or you have to run away. Whereas in this one, there's the thing where you can disarm people and like choke them out in combat, but it's a bit harder. So I've actually been trying to use that. So like if I get caught, I haven't been like, oh, this is ruined now, I have to quick load or I have to start again. So I'm actually fighting people now, which means I'm actually playing a large chunk of the game, which I wasn't before. It's pretty good. Yeah,
it's a good game. Like I said, I have to play more of it, I guess, to get a better judge.
Because I played, I think, up to the videos that they showed all before was the Clockwork Mansion, where it's like where clockwork robots and stuff. I haven't got there yet. I'm the level just before.
There.
Yeah, I'm the level I just finished level 5.
Adamaya is the one you've just done? Yeah, I just finished that and I'm going to the next place.
Yeah, I finished that and didn't really enjoy it too much. I enjoyed like the actual mechanics of doing stuff, but like the powers for it I was getting kind of bored with, so I was thinking I might just start again, so I've been putting that off, but I'm probably going to start playing again with Corvo and play through those bits.
It's worth mentioning, if you like the invisibility on the thing, you can upgrade that. Like, it's one of the first upgrades you can get for the whip thing is to make you invisible while you're moving with it, which makes it a lot more like Corvo's Blink. But
one thing I will say about it is the maps seem to be a lot more fleshed out than they were in the original one. There are so many rooms where there's just little stories and weird stuff like that. Like, at the beginning of the game, where you're leaving the tower, like, you're basically just running away, and the goal is to just get to a ship. That's it. There's, like, basically every house you can go into, and there's, like, a safe in there. You have to find clues to open the safe, like the combination. There'll be, like, storybooks everywhere. There'll be people hiding and cowering. There's, like, civilians in places. But it's, like, every building you can go into and sneak around, and there's treasure. Loads of stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. I guess that's one of the things coming from like the first game doing well, so them getting a bit more budget to play with in that sense. But yeah, it's good. I'll be interested to see if you enjoy it more than playing as Corvo, whether the game changed. But I haven't played too much of that, like I said, so I'll also talk about the Vive, which I got to finally try in Korea, which was really cool. I assume none of you have used it.
Nope.
You've used the Oculus, right? The dev kit at one of the Euro
Yes,
gamers.
I've only used that. I've used two different.
Okay, so I wanted to try the Vive for ages, and I've been to like 2, I think, events where I knew the Vive was going to be there, and then I either didn't look at the fact that you had to book it in advance, or you could only book it on the day, and everyone booked out the entire slot, like first thing in the morning, so I couldn't get to do it, which like left me really gutted. And then in Korea, they just had like a shop that had just bought like 5 Vives or whatever, and you just paid like £3 to pay it for 10 minutes, and it's open until like 5 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, why don't we have this here? It was like really, I was just like, what? And like
Cool.
loads of people there just do it. Like we met up with, went to Korea and met one of my girlfriend's uni friends, is teaching English there, and his girlfriend had a friend who just like spoke to us, and she was just like, yeah, you should come do this like VR place. And I was like, oh my god, it's just the Vive. It's like they have loads of it here. And yeah, it was really, really cool. Like I'm quite excited by VR stuff, but the price is like a bit of a holding back point. And I really wanted to try, like, you know, the Vive has the full room movement and stuff, which is really nice. I got to play some really kind of crappy zombie shooting game that was kind of like a on rails thing where you're within a box that's moving, so it like does the moving for you. But it was fun because they make it 4-player, so you can just play with your friends. And the downside of the place being in Korea is they didn't explain in English how to do anything in any of the games, so it took us quite a while to figure out like how to swap weapons and stuff like that, because it's, especially where the 3D is so strange, because you could pick up grenades, and then the way you swap weapons in the game is you press the like center button thing like on the Vive controller, and then it would make blobs of every weapon appear around your hand, and all of them by default are in front, so you push your hand into the one you want, and then the grenade is behind your hand. And I couldn't get the hang of that for ages. I kept just moving my hand down or like pushing it lower, and I was like, I just can't select the grenade for ages, and eventually just realised all I had to do was move my hand towards me, and I was like, oh right, that's just something I've never thought of like in games before. But yeah, it was really, really fun playing multiplayer. But then after that I played Hollow Point, which I don't know if anyone knows, like an archery one. It's only single player game, but you're in a dojo, and then these sort of rotating blue squares appear around you, like above you and like on different levels, and you have to shoot them with a bow, and when you shoot them they fire a shot back at you, so you don't have to dodge it. And it's so much fun. Like, it's quite like surprisingly tiring. Like, one of the other people played it and then said he basically put his back out because all you're doing in it is firing shots and then leaning backwards slots as they miss you. But yeah, it was probably one of the coolest experiences I've had in quite a while. So I'm kind of interested in buying one, but I in no way have the room for it right now. So yeah.
Need to have a Vive room in your house.
Oh, on the note of the Vive, I was going to say I watched a video of a game that I thought, like, this is a really cool idea for it, where it's one that mixes people playing on a regular like PC game and with the Vive, and it was, I can't remember what the name of it. It was something generic or something like something Exodus or whatever. But it's basically the person in the Vive is a giant robot overlord in a factory, and the other player plays like I don't know if you've ever heard of Spy Party. It's like a game where a player has to pretend to be an NPC. So they have they're sort of like walking around levels on like this factory floor, and they have to activate levers in an area, and they're moving amongst hundreds of other identical robots, and they have to make themselves look like they're a regular robot. And the Overlord is like a giant head, like, so the world to them is like a tiny little like toy box, like a doll's house almost, and they can look around and try and figure out which person is the which one is the actual person, and they pick them up and put them in a grinder. So like, it's really weird seeing it, because like the Vive person can move their head around completely in 3D. So like on the person screen, like in the like prep before the game starts, they're just in a little arena, and then you can have this giant face come down and like look at you and stuff. It's like very strange, but like I really like melding the two playing systems, kind of like, I guess, like the bomb defusal game.
Oh yeah,
you know, the Explode makes use of like having one person in the scenario and other people not in it. And I think that's a good way to incorporate multiplayer in Vive games, so you don't have to have two people with £800 headsets. But yeah, that was really cool. I hope you guys could try it at some point in the future.
Hopefully, yeah. That'd be really good. Yeah. Cool. I've been playing, Dishonored 2 was my main big one, to be honest. That's what I've been playing. I played a fair amount of that just after Christmas, got it for Christmas. Also been playing quite a lot, because I got Pokemon...
Can we talk about Dishonored again?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I felt really stupid playing the Adamire one, and in fact the level before that where you're trying to get, I don't know if it's the level before, where you're trying to get to the Institute place.
Yeah.
There are a couple of like runes that I just could not figure out how to get, because I wasn't thinking about the world as an actual world.
Yeah.
Like, there's one where...
Is it one of the ones near the protesters or something? Or near the religious people? Possibly.
I don't know. I don't think so. There was one where it's literally just before you go to the Institute, there's just like one trapped in a sewage bit. And I spent so long looking for an entrance, going like, I can't find any way into this. And I ran around it like 4 times before eventually realising all you have to do is like shoot a bit of wood and it breaks and the thing slides down. And I just felt like the biggest idiot because I was like just assuming, oh, it's a video game, so there'll be a route into that room and I'll find it. And I did the same thing with, there's one in the Ademeyer Institute, which is like under in the basement. And I found all the maps, it was like, there's a basement here, like there's lots of text that you can find talking about the basement, but there was no entrance to the basement anywhere. The maps only show it as like directly next to the elevator, and the only way to do it is to take the elevator to the top floor.
And then climb out?
No, climb out and then cut the wire above it so that it falls down and smashes the floor. And I was like, I never have thought of that.
Yeah,
I didn't, but like as I left the island, I was like, I'm going to look up what that is, because I had no clue, and then it was just like, oh my god, like, I would never have thought to do that in a million years, but it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, don't think to. But yeah, I got Pokemon Moon just before Christmas, so I played quite a bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you even played Pokemon as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. How far have you gotten to it?
Not
Which
very
island?
far.
Okay.
But yeah.
I got to the start of the 3rd island at the moment, but
right, I'm
yeah.
the second one. Right,
Yeah, I've been doing the thing, trying to make the game a bit harder, because obviously in all the previous games it's been very, very easy.
I heard you're doing ground.
I'm doing monotype, yeah. So
Right.
I'm only using ground type Pokemon,
Right.
and made the mistake of picking the grass starter. So in all the games, the rival always picks the one that will be weak against you. So they have water.
Yeah, this game is just really weird for that. You're right. I don't like the rival. Is firstly
Okay.
one of my main things.
This rival's so nice. He's not a rival. He's just a
but that's
friend.
the problem. I liked the fact that Gary was a little bit of a twat. Like he's actually a rival. This man he just goes around and going, oh well, it doesn't matter as long as you had fun battling. And
The
I'm
thing
just
is,
like,
I think
please.
there haven't really been proper rivals for the last few gens, though. Like in X and Y, there wasn't really a proper one.
At least
Pearl.
in X and Y, there was one which picked. There was 2 rivals, wasn't there? There was one which picked the one which
Yeah.
affected them. That made sense. But this guy literally picks one that is weak to your Pokemon.
Yeah.
And the game is already
He's
easy.
like wingmanning
So
for you the
yeah,
entire
he's
game.
Yeah.
I mean, all that, and every time he goes to fight you, he's like, "Let me heal your Pokemon before we
Yeah.
fight."
Thinking
Well,
about the game, I think we're his rival. Like he
Yes.
like,
You're the dick in this situation.
Basically, yeah, because we're going around. We do all of the challenges just before him, and like when you finish a lot of them, he turns up and goes like, "Oh, I'm just about to do that thing you just tried."
I don't know
Yeah.
how he
You're
beats
like, "Oh, it's
them.
so
though.
easy."
Yeah.
I don't know how he beats any
You
of
say
the
that.
trials.
He's so difficult for me to beat because
yeah.
there was a point where there's a fight against him when you arrive just on an island, and my team was like 5 levels higher than him.
Right.
His starter could one-shot all of my team with like a
This
5
is-
level difference on him.
I don't know what it like. I'm finding this Pokemon Sun a bit confusing in that sense because against the first captain you fight, he sends out a young goose to begin with, and like I had all my
Is that
Pokemon.
literally a young goose? Or
It's like it's closer to a mongoose.
Mongoose.
to be honest.
Weird hair.
Yeah.
But in any case, like it would literally like all my Pokemon were once again like you a number of levels higher than it.
Yeah.
But it would like lair once, tackle, and insta kill them.
Thing is, I think after playing X and Y, in X and Y, the AI for people, I don't know if they were just deliberately making them stupid, but they would do things that like wouldn't do any damage or they would be useless, and they would just keep doing it over and over just so you would win.
yeah.
In this one, they'll actually think or they'll use moves that are super
Yeah.
effective. I really appreciate that, to be honest, because if they're not going to like, they still refuse to do the thing. They won't give any drainer more than 3 Pokemon.
Mainly
It's
the
really
fact
annoying
that
still.
there's like 3 special trainers that have 6 Pokemon.
Yeah. That's one thing I quite like about it, actually. If you beat all of the trainers in a route, there's usually another trainer that you can find that says, "Oh, you've beaten everyone, so now you can fight me," and they're a harder person. But yeah.
I guess it's just like nodding towards like younger people and older people that play. Like
Yeah.
you can have this optional challenge, but we're not going to make the game like impassable for you.
That's basically the only thing I wanted, really, in terms of difficulty. And also the other thing I've been playing a lot of for Pokemon, there's been a number of times where Ibs and I, and also 2 of our friends, have been doing Wonder Trade battles, where it's basically, because they still have Wonder Trades from X and Y. If you don't know, it's just a trade with it randomly pairs you with someone from around the world.
Right.
You pick a Pokemon you want to trade, and it just swaps it with theirs, and it could be pretty much anything. So people obviously flood it with terrible Magikarps and stuff like that. But there's also people who just put like really high level stuff on, or just put ridiculous things on for no
Heroes
reason.
of the world.
Yeah. So we just you catch a load of Pokemon, you want to trade all of them over, so you end up with a team mostly comprising of just awful Pokemon, and then you just battle each other. So we did like 4-way battles for that. That's been really, really fun. Because like you don't put together a team or anything, but it's just entertaining. Like sometimes you can get ridiculous stuff, other times you're useless. But yeah, that's been very fun.
I've enjoyed those battles.
Yeah. The main thing I've found about Pokemon Sun though is that I feel it's suffering almost like there are cutscenes every 5 seconds, and every 2 seconds there's somebody there to heal your Pokemon.
The healing the Pokemon every 5 steps is a bit weird.
I appreciated it a lot because I'm always extremely underleveled in Pokemon, and usually when those are about, I desperately need them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I actually don't so much mind the healing thing. It's just more funny than anything. But the main problem I have is the constant. Well, it's not even that much of a problem. It's just I find it a bit irksome that every 2 seconds there's somebody going, now you go over there.
Yeah.
But that's like how the other Pokemons were when you think back to it. Yeah. But there wasn't like a person at every point. I think a movie going.
The main difference is in the previous games, it's been very, very linear in the sense that the maps are actually linear. Like there's only one where you can go ever, and the maps don't really overlap that much. They're usually just one big circle that you go around in. Whereas in this game, I found the islands are kind of well designed. Like you actually revisit places, or like you'll loop around routes and stuff like that. So they have to kind of guide you a bit. But I really like the design of all of it, the places you go. So like you'll revisit towns you went to before, and different things will have changed slightly. And I've really been enjoying that. I think this has been one of the more fun games I've played. Fun Pokemon games I've played for a long time. Like X and Y, I realise is not that great. It was kind of crap.
For some reason, I really enjoyed it. Maybe it's. I don't know.
Maybe
it's because I hadn't played a Pokemon game in a very long time, and then I've played 2 in succession.
Yeah, I was about to say something similar. Like, I kind of enjoyed X, but that's because it was the first one I played in a while. I didn't play Black and White or any of those.
Yeah, I skipped Black and White and Black and White too. So.
Well, I hadn't played since Silver, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Sun and Moon's actually, they've made a lot of just like nice changes.
Yeah, like you no longer have to have Pokemon that know HMs or anything. So
I
like stuff like
that.
Fly and things, they comment on it as well. In the game, they're like, "Wow, it would be terrible if you had to always have a Pokemon that knew this."
Yeah.
Remember that awful thing we made you do?
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Cool. Should we call it that? It's been quite a long episode.
Yes.
Okay then. Well, we'll see you possibly next week then.
Goodbye.
This has been Game Marmalade.
Bye.
Yeah.